Emily, thanks. Apparently, a lot of people did not take to heart all of the warnings not to look directly at the sun without wearing eclipse glasses. Well, Google says this. It saw a spike in searches for things like "my eyes hurt" following the event. You can see that on their trend chart.
Eye experts had been warning that looking directly at the sun without those eclipse glasses can cause long-term damage. And one of the experts, Dr. Leonard Messner with the Illinois College of Optometry, is joining us now. I'm sure you've been getting questions about this. So if people didn't listen to the experts like you and looked at the eclipse, how long did they have to stare for damage to happen?
Well, that's a great question. And I don't know that anyone really knows the answer to that, but trust me, it's more than a simple fleeting glance. It's usually staring at the sun for several seconds or longer. Okay. The problem with an eclipse is that much of the irritating glare from the sun is eliminated so that you're able to look directly at the sun. However, the very damaging ultraviolet rays are still coming through, and that's what leads to the damage.
I don't want to sound glib here, Doc, but I think sometimes we take our eyes for granted. Oh, I looked too long at the eclipse. I'll just, I'll just wear sunglasses and I'll be real careful and I won't look up at the sky and everything will be fine. But is that actually the case? Once we damage our eyes, is that damage permanent?
Yes, and unfortunately, it is permanent damage. Solar retinopathy results in a phototoxic injury to the back part of the eye, the retina, and specifically right in the central part of the retina, a part of the eye called the fovea. And it literally damages the pigment layer that the retina sits on top of, and that then damages irreparably the photoreceptors that sit on top of the pigment layer. Now, most individuals, even if they suffer some form of vision loss, usually over a period of about 1 to 6 months, will show some recovery of vision, but nevertheless, permanent visual damage is quite common.
So what advice do you have to anyone who thinks that they did something wrong and damaged their eyes?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think that first and foremost is to get your eyes examined by an eye specialist. What we do is we put drops in the eyes, we dilate your pupils, we look at the retina very, very carefully. But then in addition to that, we do another test called an optical coherence tomogram that essentially is like a laser guided form of ultrasound. And that allows us to look at the tissue very, very carefully. And specifically what we're looking for are these gaps, these defects, literally holes, a small hole that can form involving the very, very deep layers of the retina.
Real quick, we're almost out of time. There were some reports that some glasses were not actually effective, that they may have been defective, in fact. Are there any symptoms you want to tell our viewers about to be on the lookout for, that even if you had the glasses on, if you're experiencing something that you may want to see a medical professional?
Yeah, certainly if you're experiencing reduced vision, and typically the reduced vision, it's not a matter that I've lost my vision altogether. It's usually more like a dark spot that's at or very near the central part of the vision. And it's simply not going away. It's more of an irritation than losing vision completely. But if you were experiencing, trying to look at the eclipse, which I think we all were doing, but if it is that persistent dark spot in the central part of the vision or near the central part of the vision, yeah, it's a good idea to have your eyes examined.
Dr. Leonard Messner, thank you so much. We appreciate it.